Hi, in this video, we are going to build a basic product page by using the Shopiflo template library. The Shopiflo template library simplifies the process of building your store. Shopiflo takes advantage of custom attributes to convert Webflow elements to dynamic Shopify store components. Shopiflo's template library saves you from remembering and typing attributes by offering pre-built native Webflow components with the right attributes already set on them. This also includes product-specific attribute values like product ID and option values for any given product from our Shopify store. In this example, we're going to be building a product page for a product from our demo store that is called Bike32. This product is already set a title, description, gallery images, and 3 variants with different color options in Shopify. Let's go to the Shopiflo dashboard and see how this information translates to native Webflow components. Once you land on your Shopiflo dashboard, on the main screen, you're going to be seeing the Shopify stores that are connected to your Shopiflo account. Here is my tutorial store. I click the Build button. In the Build screen, I have all the required components that are needed for building a product page as copyable Webflow elements. These elements are already assigned the required attributes. And in this area, the attribute names and values are also available for you to just copy and set on the elements that you have already created in Webflow yourself. At the moment, we are seeing the values of the selected product that is called Porto IPA. Let's scroll to the top of the page and open the product drop-down. In this list, I have access to all the products from my tutorial store. Now, let's select Bike32. Once the product is selected, all the copyable components listed on the page are populated with the up-to-date information from Shopify and required attributes by Shopiflo. Let's understand what just happened here better by comparing the values displayed here to the Shopify product page. In my custom selectors component, displayed values are updated to the values of the selected product. Remember, our product Bike32 has 3 variants with black, white, and yellow options. In this example, we're going to use the Buy module for a quick start. Buy module contains all the basic elements needed for creating a product page. Let's copy the element and head to Webflow. In the Navigator panel, I select Page Container and press Command+V to paste the element into the Webflow designer, and our product page is already in Webflow. Now let's take a look at the Navigator panel. All the elements brought over are native and editable Webflow elements. Before deep diving into the elements of Buy module, I am going to hit Publish and see what happens. Here, notice my image gallery is populated, also the price and the image component reacts to the option changes. Our Buy module is functioning correctly. Before adding a product to cart and completing a purchase at Shopify checkout, let's go back to Webflow and take a deep dive into the components and the attributes used on the elements. Let's start with the product container element of the Buy module. The product container element is a required element for every Buy module. It stores the ID of the product that we are building a page for. To specify the product, we use an attribute called sfProduct. The value of this attribute is set to the Shopify product ID of Bike32. The Shopify product ID can be located in the URL of the Shopify product page. However, with the Shopiflo template library, this field is automatically populated with the information of the selected product, making it easier for us to create pages for our products. All other components of this Buy module goes into the product container. You can place the rest of the elements wherever you want in this div, and you can have as many Buy module as you wish in a page. Along with the product container, the Add to Cart button is the only other required element for creating a Buy module. If there are no variant options or quantity selected by the user, the Add to Cart button will add the first variant of the subject product to the cart on click. Add to Cart button is marked with the attribute called sfAdd to Cart. It doesn't require any value. So we set it as true or 1 and we are done with it. Let's take a look at the quantity changer component. The quantity changer component is made up of 3 elements: to decrease, to display, and to increase the quantity. The attribute names used for each element is self-explanatory and easy to remember. sfChange quantity dec for decrementing the quantity, sfShow quantity for displaying the quantity, and sfChange quantity inc for incrementing the quantity. These elements can be any Webflow element. Here, we're using div elements for the quantity changers. and a text block for the displayer element. Instead of a text block element as a displayer element, we can also use a number input for user to simply type a number. I change the text block element with an input element. For this, I am using a form block element. When I use an input element instead of a text block element, the attribute name needs to be sfChangeQuantity since it can change the quantity itself, even if there are no buttons. Let's see how it looks in the published site. Now I can control the quantity both by typing and using the buttons. These elements together or separately can be placed anywhere inside of the product container. Here, we have the variant option selector. This is a native Webflow form element containing a single select field, without a submit button. For using a select field in Webflow we need to include the form as well, but here all we need is the select field. The select field has the attribute called sfChangeOption, and the attribute's value is set to color. Let's remember where this value color is coming from. This is the name of the option group used in our Shopify product settings. When we copied the buy module from the template library, this select field has been populated with the required attributes in the content. But what if I make a change to the options in Shopify? Let's try and see what happens. I am going to change the option value black to dark, and option value white to light. And I am going to remove the option value yellow. Save the settings, and go to our live product page. I am going to do a hard reload to avoid any caching related problem. The product options are also updated. In the list I have dark and light instead of black and white, and yellow is not here anymore. Let's go back to Webflow. As you see, in Webflow the select field still has the initial values. However, Shopiflo updates the values on page load to the up-to-date values from our Shopify store. Shopiflo also offers a very streamlined process for building custom option selectors such as color swatches or pill toggles. But more on this later. Let's inspect the price component. A price component can be created just by adding a sfShowPrice attribute to a text block in Webflow. In the live page, you'll notice that when the page is loaded, the price of the first variant is shown. Once you change the variant option, the price element is also updated to the price of the selected variant. sfShowPrice attribute has 3 optional available values for changing the calculation logic, but more on this later. We also have these 2 optional attributes on the product name and product description elements, sfShowTitle and sfShowDesk. These attributes helps keeping the product name and description text in sync with our Shopify store. Now let's bring the cart component to our page to complete a purchase. Open the Shopiflo template library and switch to the Cart Components tab. Here is our cart module. Let's copy the element. Open Webflow again and paste it right into the page container. Now we have a cart, all made up of native Webflow components. Cart component can be placed any page or section in your site without a nesting rule. For now, I am going to keep it where it is. Without deep diving into the components of a cart block, I am going to just hit Publish. In the Publish site, I select the yellow color from Options. Increase the quantity to 3 and add it to cart. 3 yellow by 32s added to cart. In the cart, I can change the quantity of the line item, or I can remove them from the cart. Let's add some other color, maybe white, to the cart, and proceed to checkout and complete the purchase. From this point on, Shopify picks up. I can fully utilize any payment gateway, discount code, or other awesome Shopify features. We have completed a purchase using Shopiflo through a headless Shopify store that is using Webflow as a front end. For finding out more about the basic and advanced features of Shopiflo, please explore our documentation. For now, this is all. Thanks for watching till the end.